All right. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Thursday Night Hang here on the Ono Live channel here for the Coffee and Cigars live stream. It is episode number 243. It is, what is it, the 19th of June. We're flying through the month of June already, flying through the year. So how you doing? As you can see behind me, I'm in a different location than I have been typically. I'm actually down in the area of Columbia, Maryland, and I'm actually across the street from a place called Merriweather Post Pavilion. Those of you who are from this area probably have gone to concerts here many times. And I'm at this plaza across the street, so I'm away from the concert. I'm away from the concert venue, but I can still hear the concert. One of the opening acts just ended today, just a few moments ago, right before I pressed the start button. And I think it was an entertainer by the name of Alana Springsteen. Oh, no. Or maybe Carly Scott Collins. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Mom, how's it going, man? Good to see you. How's everything going? And tonight here at Merriweather Post Pavilion is a concert by Keith Urban. Keith Urban, a country singer. I don't know anything about Keith Urban. You know, Keith is a famous country singer. That's all I know. I'm familiar with the name, but I don't think I know many of his songs. But we're going to find out because we're actually within earshot of the concert. So I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but I can hear a little bit of, right now, one of the opening acts just finished. So I'm presuming that they've had a bunch of opening acts that started like it's around 7 o'clock. And now they're moving into perhaps the headliner. So we'll get to hear some Keith Urban music while having our cigar here. Now, I'm actually outside of one of my clients' places. I was here today doing some training, some new barista training here at the food market in Columbia. And the food market is actually across the plaza right there. And so there's the food market Columbia, which is the restaurant inside between those two columns. And then to the left of it, this black kind of areas are called, it's an outdoor venue called Vacation, which is their alter ego restaurant. So there's two restaurants all together, and you can have two totally different experiences. One is outside, one is inside, or you can also have both outside. But really a nice a place to come and have a nice meal. And of course, they know coffee here. They know coffee. So, and instead of making coffee today, I thought, you know what? We'll have some of the coffee that I make, but not made by me, right? So I've got the cold brew that they brew here at the Food Market Coffee, right here, the cold brew. And it's our typical cold brew that they brew themselves. A nice chocolate, deep, good body, rich, just what you want for a nice iced coffee here in the warmer weather. Although it's not terribly warm here, you know, it's actually a little bit chilly. It's been kind of muggy and hot the last 2 days, and all yesterday, and then today, and then I've been inside, you know, training for the last 3 hours, and then I come out and it's like we had some thunderstorms. And I guess the cold front came with a thunderstorm because it's kind of chilly now, and I don't have a jacket. So I'm like, oh, I wish I had a jacket. It's really kind of bad, you know. I don't know what to do. I don't know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? But you know, so good to see all of you, Mom, Rusty, George. How you doing, man? Good to see you. George says, I'm recovering from hip surgery and still in a bit of pain. Oh, my goodness. So I won't stick around too long, being a little loopy. Understood, you know. Glad to see that you're out of surgery and recovering well. So that's great to hear. So today, like I said, I'm in Columbia, Maryland, which is a bit of a nice county area. So there's a part of me that's wondering, like, how long will I be able to camp out here in this plaza? It's a beautiful plaza. They built this plaza like last summer, and then they tore it all up this summer or this winter and redid it. And what they did is this big sculpture behind me was actually down the street. They moved it here, but they've totally redone this area, and it's really pretty. It's really pretty, and I'm surprised that no one else is here in this plaza with me, because you know we're right across the street from Merriweather, and it just occurred to me that, you know, maybe this is a good way to get a free concert. And actually, across the street on the Merriweather grounds, there's actually some picnic tables. Now, I don't know if security chases people away from those picnic tables, but I think they're empty. Like, part of me was thinking I should go over there and sit. But the problem is it's under the tree line here. It's all trees. So it's going to be dark in a little while, and it's going to be real hard to see. Up here, I'm hoping that these string lights will give a little bit of illumination that the iPhone will help to compensate for. But if not, I did bring a portable light in order to illuminate myself. Tony's with us. What's going on, Tony? How are you, man? Good to see you. Everybody hopes you feel much better there, George. And George says, I'm on the way to better mobility. Awesome, awesome. I remember when I had my knee surgery in 2013, man, like I was in the hospital for 33 days. I was in the hospital for 33 days. And I remember during that time, man, I really had to learn how to walk again. Like it was physically very difficult. And I remember after my surgery for like the first 2 weeks, just walking was such an incredible pain. Like not inconvenient pain, but incredible searing pain. Like, and going to the bathroom was horrible, horrible. Like, you know how when there's a threshold, so you may not have even, I never really paid attention, but there's a threshold that will separate one side of the door frame, the bathroom door frame, from the other. Really, on the floor, there's like flooring for your regular part of the room, and there's the flooring for the bathroom, typically tile. But there's usually a threshold that covers that kind of bridges the gap. Well, in my hotel room at this place, in my hospital room, maybe it was like 25 millimeters, so maybe an inch at the most was the threshold height. Maybe just a little bit. But my surgery and knee surgery was so painful that lifting my foot to get over that and then to put weight on it to cross the threshold was incredibly pain. Like I just couldn't, I mean, I couldn't do it alone. Like I had to have nurses help me to the bathroom to take a dump. Like it was so like, I want to say it's horrific. It wasn't horrific. It was kind of embarrassing, but I wasn't really embarrassed. But it's just like, you're just so like, you're so crushed. And after that, after I was recovered enough to start to walk, I actually had to learn to walk and really think about how to gait. What is the gait like? Like I have to like put the heel down first, then let it fall, and then roll over with the toes. Like that was part of the whole like physical therapy rehabilitation kind of program that I was on, where you had to actually think about your motor skills to try to get your feet to do what you had never thought about before. It was challenging. So I feel you, man. I feel you, George. I feel you. I totally feel you because of that. And don't go crazy with the Percocets. Yeah, be careful with those. Careful. And Mom hopes you have a fast recovery as well. Awesome. George says you should have done the love. Oh, that's right. You're not too far. We could have like hung out on the balcony. I should let you know to come out here. We could have hung out here. I'm sorry. My apologies. But then again, I just wrapped up the training like 15 minutes ago. So I basically wrapped it up and like, brought my kid out here because I've been spying these seats. I wasn't sure where I was going to do this tonight, but then I spied these seats and I was like, oh, because it was raining, it was pouring around it. So I was like, where am I going to go? Maybe I'll go to the parking garage where I left the vehicle. And I don't know if I'm going to get chased out of here. Like if security finds me after we light up, or if there's the popo. The popo is right there. Popo is right there. Are they going to smell the smoke and then come over and be like, because I don't know. There could be ordinances against public smoking now here in Colombia, because Colombia is one of those nice places, right? Nice places where they might not tolerate freedoms. George says, thanks to all of you. Enjoy the show. And thank you. Stay with us as long as you wish. Rusty says, wasn't that when you were in the Philippines? Yes. In 2013, I was in the Philippines and came down with this like incredible, I don't know, it was a virus or like some kind of knee infection on my right knee that just totally, I was completely debilitated. Like I was at my brother's house and it hit me right before I went to my brother's house. And like, I just couldn't I couldn't move. Like I couldn't move. It was so, the pain was so intense. I couldn't move, and I had to take a piss in the middle of the night. And I'm like, I can't make. Literally, I'm crawling across the floor, trying to get there, and I'm like desperate. Like you know when you really have been holding it and you're trying not to get, and you're just gonna lose it. I'm at the point, the breaking point. I'm totally losing it. And there was this like container. I grabbed the container and I'm kind of lying, kind of prone on the floor, pissing into this container, missing it. Like it was just like, it was definitely a low point. It was definitely a low point. Let's just say that, it was a low point. Better mobility is good, says Tony. And George says, I was up on my feet 90 minutes after the procedure, but day 2 is rougher than, oh, yeah, man, it gets a little bit rougher, but it gets better. It will get better. I'm sure it will get better. It got better. It got, it's, George says the foot strike patterns are, yeah, you just never think about the way that your feet roll on the pavement or on the ground and how the mechanics of it work until you have to until you have to think about it. It's really. And Rusty says, George, one drive over. Hey, might as well, man. Might as well come on, hang out. I'll be happy to hang out with you. George says, go ahead and plan to hide under that. I do like the way that the sunset is hitting it now. It's giving a nice color. Look at that. That's really pretty. Okay, so we've got this coffee. Like I said, it's a cold brew that I produce for the food market coffee, seafood market coffee. So if you're in Columbia, Maryland, you want some nice coffee, come here to the food market. They're open 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. pretty much 7 days a week. Easily the best coffee in Columbia. And they even have lollipops, little cake lollipops. Look at that. That's terribly cute. Vanilla cake pop. From a company called Rosie Otto. They partner with Rosie Otto. Rosie makes these for them, and it's really cute. I haven't had one yet. I grabbed this one, and I was thinking about eating it, but I just ate right before we started, so I was like, oh, I feel kind of full. So today, we have Keith Urban. He's going to be starting soon. Now, Keith is on this thing called, what is it called? I'm looking up here on Meriwether's website. It's his High and Alive tour. So he's got High and Alive, and he's got a couple of opening acts. He's got Chase Matthew, Alana Springsteen. I don't know if she's related to Springsteen, and Carly Scott Collins. I think they're all done, and now I think we're moving into Keith Urban. Or maybe, although it's only been like, I think they start at 7, so it's only been an hour, and they have 3 opening acts. So maybe there's one more opening act, and then we're going to move to Keith, which I hope so, because like what I don't want is for us to end, like if Keith starts around now and ends around 10 o'clock, well, not we, I'm kind of hosed, because then I'll be stuck in like all the Meriwether traffic, and I would like to get out of here before. I hope Keith is going to, they typically will have concerts run here until 11 o'clock. So I'm hoping that Keith will run to 11 and I can get out an hour before anybody else gets out of here. Yeah, so gates open today, 5:30, shows that starts at 7. So that's what we got. But today, we're going to be using, did I invite Chad to the live? No, I did not. I did not invite Chad because, I wasn't sure exactly if I was going to do it here or not until about half an hour ago. Because it all depended how long the training today was going to take. So if I got out of here early, then it'd be different. It sounds like a guy that's talking, but I don't think so. Maybe the last one was a lot of Springsteen. They started with Carly Scott Collins, and now we're at Chase Matthew. I don't know if you can hear that. It's nice if you can hear it. Bad for me if you. Well, actually, it doesn't matter to me because like this is not a monetized channel, so it doesn't really matter if YouTube can hear it. So what today we've got here is the Brick House double Connecticut Toro. I found this. Where did I find this? I think I got this when I was at Cigars International on the way back from Connecticut, and I think this is one of the ones. But I found this the other day, whenever, and I thought that it was pretty cool. Or Brick House. Let's try Brick House, as you may know, is a J.C. Newman brand, and yeah, J.C. Newman. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah. But let's look at what Half Wheel has to say. I tend to go to Half Wheel because they do some pretty good write-ups about like technical details. Let's see here. Uh, so it incorporates not only a shade-grown wrapper from Connecticut, but also a broadleaf binder that is also grown in Connecticut. So binder and wrapper are Connecticut shade and Connecticut broad. Is that right? Yep, yep, yep. And the filler tobaccos are all from Nicaragua. And it is the only cigar currently on the market that features both the shade and the blend, the broadleaf in the same blend, but not the first to use that combination. Package in boxes 25. The new regular production line is the third Brick House brand to be released, joining the original Brick House and Brick House Maduro. They're all made at the Prensa factory that's owned by J.C. Newman in Esteli, Nicaragua. George says Keith will probably take the stage around 8:45. Okay, good. We have to be here the whole time. George says, I think it's an older version of Brick House. That's an older version of Brick House. You can compare it to a new blend sometime in the next few weeks. Oh, nice. All right. I'm not sure when is this review released. Oh, yeah. This review was released November 15th, 2017. So you're right. Totally old, this cigar. I mean, I'm not really a big follower of Brick House. Like, I remember the original release of Brick House, and I've had it. And I remember it being okay. Maybe a little bit pricey for what I got out of it. So I was never really a big Brick House fan. Like I never was always like, ooh, Brick House, I gotta go get more. It was just an okay cigar for me. Like it was just good. I remember that's what I remember. But this is their double Connecticut. They even have a little footband. It says Connecticut. It's got their El Reloj factory on the shield here on the back, which I think is a little bit strange. I get the whole idea that J.C. Newman that's kind of iconic for J.C. Newman. And the reloj means clock in Spanish, right? And so this is the clock tower that's at their factory in Tampa, but it's not made in Tampa. So it seems, okay, I get it. I get that this is like iconic for their symbolism, especially the rebirth of J.C. Newman in 2020 after they redid the factory. But to me, it seems kind of weird. Like you made an Esteli, why put the El Reloj on it? I don't know. That's maybe that's nitpicky. Tony says 3-year-old Grand Habano Corojo number 5 Maduro Lancero and zero cherry vanilla Pepsi is what Tony's having tonight. Nice, excellent. Yeah, let me know what you're smoking tonight. I'm very interested. George is having the HVC hot cake with some Evan Williams single barrel. Awesome. So I'm gonna take this footband off and put that in my box here to hide it. It's a little bit chilly. It's a little bit windy. It might rain again. I don't know. If it rains, I'm gonna have to take our leave. So as you can see here is the cigar. Kind of a nice lighter wrapper. Very light manure. A little bit of sweet manure. Very pleasant on the nose. Like, smells nice. Smells enticing. So let us cut. We're gonna cut with our faders cutter, old cheap faders cutter. Cut that off there. A little bit, well, not a very good cut. There we go. Cut's done. Nice. There's a sweetness on the cold draw. Actually, a really nice cold draw. Pleasant. One nice thing about coming here to watch or to be outside of a concert in the summertime that's a country concert is that there are women that come by that are in skirts and shorts wearing cowboy boots and hats, and it's very It's actually very nice. You know, it's kind of like the best part of Texas. Rusty's having the 2023 Knuckle Sandwich Chef Select with a blackhead bourbon. Awesome. Awesome. With a blackened bourbon. Awesome. Awesome. And George says he's having he's mixed his tramadol with little bitty Boyer chewable aspirin. But you know, I forgot about that tramadol. You know, when I was in the hospital that time, they gave me morphine, they gave me OxyContin. Hated them. I hated those. God, I have such bad experiences with those. But the tramadol, oh, I like tramadol. No side effects, just nice. Like, actually, I don't even remember the feeling, but I just remember I didn't have pain, but it was very nice and no side effects. So that was really, I'm a fan of tramadol. I'm a fan of tramadol. George says, I think you're safe from rain. I thought I was safe today on the golf course, but the storm forced me off after 5 holes. Oh, yeah, the one that was just like a couple hours ago? Was that the one you were caught in? Yeah, that was pretty heavy duty, man. That was pretty heavy duty here. All right, we're going to light it up with our torch. We got our torch lighter. Before I do that, let me just fragrance, nice on the fragrance, cold draw, good. I'm going to say 825. Now I'm going to light. There's a lot of breeze out here, a lot of breeze. It's going to be a little bit difficult to try to light it, but let's see. Okay, on my timer, it's 21:50, 22 minutes. Will we get stopped by security or police? How long will it take them to find us? All right, first initial puffs, very nice. Good resistance on the draw. Nice kind of flavor, tobacco kind of flavor for the first couple puffs. A little bit mild, but also nice kind of mild spiciness, good complexity. All right, very favorable. My first impression, my first puffs are very favorable. Look at that. Oops, wrong one. Rusty says, is that a Vertigo lighter? It is. If so, I love those quality, and each one is less than $15. Yeah, I don't remember how much these were, but these were great. Like I got this years ago, and I found it again, and I just keep it kind of. I've been keeping this in the garage. Finally refilled it the other day. Yeah, I like them. I like them. I got too many lighters. Tony says tobacco company Lemoyne used to have an excellent selection of Lanceros because that was the two owners' favorite size. Don't know if they still do. Oh, I just drove by Lemoyne yesterday. It was Matt and I went to go pick up this. He bought a UTV, one of those like four-wheel off-road vehicles, and we ended up going to Hershey Park. So it was a nice time. And then on the way back, of course, we drive through Harrisburg, which is you pass the Lemoyne as you're crossing over the river. By the way, George, I wanted to tell you that Brian, since he might leave before he arrives, wanted to pass on his thanks for the donation for the volunteer firefighters. The volunteer firefighters of Lutherville are going to have I guess they're going to have the morning church smoke on Sunday, this Sunday morning. If any of you have a chance to come up to Lutherville and want to have a smoke with the firefighters, I think that would be a nice time. So Brian will come and tell us more about that, I'm sure, whenever he gets here. George says, cheers, Rusty. I'm really back on my feet. I can take some pics of the Lanceros at Capitol. You'll be impressed. Oh, nice. Did I miss a comment somewhere here about Lanceros? Oh, here we go. Tony said, I smoked a couple of the Brick House Double Coronas, Connecticut's, and thought they were light years ahead of the normal Brick House. I mean, I don't recall the original brick house that I had because it's been quite a while. I just remember it being, good, but not necessarily one I'm going to hunt down and like try to get more of. Maybe I thought it was a little bit pricey for the performance, but this so far, yeah, I like it. I am liking it. Oh, well, what's the whole bunch? I do wish the whole bunch. Well, there we go. Rusty says, I need to do a road trip to see what your shop so you can refill my Lancero Tupperware with your cigar. Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, that's where the Lanceros come from. And Tony says we only stock regularly a few of them, so we'd almost have to do a road trip within the road trip to go to the store in Pennsylvania. It has quite. Okay, that's how Lemoy came up. Gotcha. George says, "Cheers, Rusty. I'm really back on my feet. I can take some pics." Oh, I think I said that already. When he's back on his feet, of course, of course. We'll plan a trip for the 200. Oh yes, excellent, excellent. Mm, it's nice. It's not terribly heavy, but it's got nice complexity. It's got nice, a light kind of spiciness to it. Like I've been smoking, of course, since I got restocked of it. I've been smoking a lot of Roma Crafts again lately, with a couple tatuajes here and there. So my normal retinue of cigars has been relatively heavy. So it's kind of nice to have this break of like a little bit lighter, a little bit less weightiness on you, right? George says, I'm sorry, I have not. I have been like, I have actually been inundated with stuff in my regular life. I have to. I will get on that. I will. I will. I will. But I think we were talking about the 19th. Is that right? Or the 9th? According to, we'll know in 2 weeks. What do we? I think I missed something here. What do we know in 2 weeks? Yeah, there's nice. This is a nice smoke. July 19th. We said July 19th. Is that 7 weeks from now? I mean, I'm good with that. I'll make that work. I'll make that work. That's a Saturday, right? Oh, that's a joke. Okay, I was worried about that. Huh? Uh, all right. If I had a little bit of a jacket, I'd be a little bit more comfortable. Like, but it's not bad. It's nice outside. We're doing well. Bunch of idiots screaming over there. There's always kids screaming about something. It's like high school. Here's a guy going the wrong way. Just turned around to go the wrong way. Came in the other way, but now he turned around to go the wrong way. Where you going, dude? There's cops that way. Some people never pay attention. So pretty good. So far, nobody's taken any notice of me, which is good. Maybe country people don't care, which is good. What you want? Mom's asking, so 19th is the 250th? I think so. Because this is 243. Next week is 244. That'll only be the end of June. 245. Well, I guess technically it might not be. Is that right? Maybe it's maybe a little bit early, but that's all right. That's all right. We don't. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, George says TBD. I mean, but the 19th I can make the 19th work. If everybody's good with the 19th, we can make that work. We don't have to have it exactly. God knows, I might be off on my episode counts anyway. So it's got interesting spice, but I'm only here. I feel though a little bit palate fatigue. I feel a little bit bored. Yeah, I think I would describe it. I'm feeling a little bit bored at the moment. Can you see the popo lights? There's the popo lights. I think my smoke was affecting this dude here. There's this dude sitting here on the other side of the tree with the blue shirt. He was sitting over there, and he just moved over now. Sorry there, brother. Sorry. But we're in the great outdoors. And there's more girls coming in shorts and boots. This is a nice. I probably need to do this more. I'm gonna have to look at my weather schedule to schedule more outings to the food market. I think that might be a nice way to go. No, that's not. We can't. I mean, doing it at Capitol is not a problem. In some ways, it makes it a lot more easier. Okay, let me please. Okay, we will work. I will work on trying to get that all figured out very soon. My apologies. I know I've been very slow on that. My apologies. I think the setting is kind of epic with the distance in the back and this here and then the popo here. Well, but make the background even more exciting. And suddenly there were ice guys coming to I don't know, kidnap me or maybe not me, but maybe kidnap somebody here. Like, can you imagine that all happening in the background? Like all this chaos, pandemonium. Be like, oh, kind of epic. Maybe I would be on the news, going viral. Cigar man catches kidnappers in action at Keith Urban concert. Smoking, so now it's starting to get a little bit, maybe a little bit more interesting, maybe a little bit spicy. Like there was that moment there a few moments ago that was just kind of like, I'm getting kind of bored. But it seems that it's getting a little interesting again. So how's your guys' week been? Anything interesting happening? My week's been busy, I think. I finally started working on my new chair. I decided that I thought that I've been thinking about making a lounge chair designed for cigar smoking. And I've kind of had in the back of my mind for a few months now, trying to think of which direction I like to go. And I kind of want to have like a mid-century modern vibe to the chair. I'm gonna knock this out, by the way, on the floor. So when I was up in Connecticut last month, stayed at my friend's house, he had a mid-century modern lounge chair in his living room. One that whose design, that style of design that he had was like kind of what had in mind. And I was like, oh. And I other chairs that I've worked or other projects, chairs that I worked on, I had to like go online, try to find out the right, that dimensions of it, and then kind of like use a ruler against the screen to extrapolate the distances and figure it out. But this one, the chair's there, so all I had to do is get my tape measure and start measuring and making notes. So I made these notes, but I didn't really think about how to assemble it. Right, like there's all these angles and degrees. Everything's like it's really quite a complex chair. So I've been sitting there the last couple of days, just like cutting pieces, trying to fit them the right way, then maybe adjusting the angles so that they splay the right direction. George says that Marjorie must be rolling in a grave. He's talking about Marjorie Post Pavilion, who the Mary or is it Marjorie Merriweather Post? Marjorie Merriweather Post, I think is her real name. Is that right? Am I getting that correctly? Or was it? Or is it? I think that. Not the other Marjorie, the blonde crazy woman. It's been nice to be at a concert. George invited me to come to a concert last summer to go see the Roots. Man, that was a hell of a good time. Thank you, George. That was a great concert, man. I really, really enjoyed that. Like I hadn't been to a concert in so long, like I'd forgotten how much I actually enjoyed them. But to be there at Wolf Trap, which is a venue very similar in style to Merriweather, and we had great seats and just beautiful views, amazing, just amazing. And of course, if you ever saw the Roots in concert, they're awesome. Just the grooves that they're hitting is just like, man. Questlove as a drummer is just like, damn, this guy's just rocking it. Like, and I think the Fugees joined them. I was like, oh my gosh, man. It was pretty much off the hook. So I'm kind of interested to see how Keith Urban sounds in concert. One of our other friends here, Scott, is very big in the country. I think he's big. Isn't he big in the country? I wonder if he's here. Yeah, it was an epic. Hotbox is with us. What's going on, man? How are you? Stop by, just pop it in, say hello real quick. Enjoy your smoke. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Good to see you. But you hear the, I don't know if you can, I don't know if, can you hear can you hear any of this? Like, I find it really kind of exciting to hear the crowd. Like, oh. It's good. Good plus so far. Uh-oh. I just felt a drop right here. Right here in my arm. There was a drop. Are we going to get rain? Oh, we are starting to get rain. How bad will it get? I've got my laptop. I'm going to have to put the laptop in the box. Will we have to retreat? George says, I think Wolf Trap is a year or two younger than Merriweather Post. Ah. How you guys doing? This is actually kind of a nice venue to have a cigar. Nice, comfortable, open air. Nobody's here. Like at night, nobody's here. It's Friday night, Thursday night, nobody's outside. Lunchtime, busy because there's a lot of these, we're in a plaza of like, office buildings, right? So there's a lot of people, like, well, theoretically, there's a lot of people in offices here. But so there's some raindrops falling. Hopefully it's just drops. We're not going to have rain. It'd be unfortunate to have rain. Yeah, this is definitely not Keith Urban. And let's see who this guy is. Oops, where's the... This is Chase Matthews. Rolling out new releases while current single Darlin' charges country radio. Warner Music Nashville's Chase Matthews continues to make his case as one of the genre's boldest emerging voices, amassing 1 billion global career streams with more than 350 million global streams on his first Record Industry of America Association of America Platinum Certified Smash County line. The Opry Next Stage Class of 2024 member has sold out venues across the nation with tickets on sale now for his 2025 World Tour after last supporting Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean. Nice, dude. Sounds like people like him. And the headliner is Keith Urban, of course. Keith Urban has spent the better part of his life harnessing deep-seated passion for music. This, combined with his talent and driving musical inquisitiveness, helps to understand why he's one of the most well-respected artists in the world. He's won 4 Grammy Awards, 13 CMAs, Country Music Award, including 2 times Entertainer of the Year, 15 ACMs, I guess American Country Music Award, 3 AMAs, American Music Association, I think that is, and celebrated 9 consecutive gold, platinum, or multi-platinum albums, which have produced more than 10 billion streams. Wow, 10 billion. I can barely get 50 streams, and this guy's getting 10 billion. He's been recognized as one of country music's most influential artists with inductions into the Grand Ole Opry and the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. On September 20th, he released High, his 11th solo album, songs from which began debuting on January 24th. Wow, that's a long time to release. He'll return to Las Vegas in February for the Keith Urban's High Vegas at La Fontainebleau. Rusty says, how far are you from Cockeysville? I guess he's talking about Tony. Rusty, George says, about 30 minutes. The Darling song, is that the Keith Urban song you're talking about? The Darling song, this is my Honda Ridgeline. Really, this is Honda Ridgeline? How can you diss Honda Ridgeline? Honda Ridgeline's kind of an awesome truck. I guess, oh, you mean from, you mean where we are here in Merriweather? It depends on the traffic, but like today it took me about 47 minutes to get here because of traffic. I came here right around 3, I left right around 3 o'clock to get here. But normally, yeah, about half an hour if there's no traffic. But in the year or so since the collapse of the Fort McHenry Bridge, it has taken notably longer almost any time of the day that I've gone here. Like it's really quite a chore to get here. Oh, Chase Matthews, Chase Matthews. Well then, Chase Matthews can suck it. I know that. I guess he's done. I guess Chase is done. All right, so 45 minutes. So it's 8:45 now. So he's going to start. They'll probably take almost 15 minutes to switch. So, and I read somewhere that Keith Urban normally plays for about 2 hours. So he should finish right around 11, which is good for us. Good, well, good for me. Good for me. Oh, damn, this guy's styling. I don't know if you can see him. I don't really have a way to zoom in, but this guy, the guy with the pink shirt, stylish. And I don't mean his style. I mean the lady friend that he has with him is very stylish, like very. My speed, my speed, my speed. Tony says, promise is a girl's. Oh, premise is a girl stepping out on her Chevy, driving boyfriend. The premise is a girl stepping on her Chevy driving boyfriend with a dude in with a. She knows, man. She knows. She knows the style. Here you go, Tony. Here's some more. Here's some more style right there. There's some more speed. That's my speed right there. My speed. My speed. When I was many years ago, when I was young, I was 21. Or no, I was actually 19. I was 19 years old, learning how to drive Greyhound style buses. You know, big old MC8s, MC9s, Prevost, and MC102A7s. Right. The big ones are used by what's it called? By like the Greyhound style buses, right? 57 passengers, 22 feet from the front axles to the rear axles, like huge buses. One of my instructors to learn, and actually, I'm telling you now, I was 19 years old at the time. Technically, you're supposed to be 21 to drive commercial, but I kind of lied. So I got this job, and I'm driving these buses. My instructor, Mel, what's his last name? Mel. I just remember Mel. Always wore cowboy boots, right? Mel, his whole thing was, that's my speed. And that was his whole thing. My speed. That's my speed. That's my speed. Tony says, I take it that they are. That they are, my friend. That they are. Whew. You should have seen it earlier, before, like when most of the crowds were going. As I was sitting here getting ready, I was like, oof. Oh, wow. From inside the cafe, it's oof. And of course, because it's a show night, a concert night, the restaurants were hopping. Like I was hanging out in the restaurant after we were finished, or when we were finishing. I was like, whoa, nice and busy. Nice to see that kind of bustle. I think it's good. I'm trying to decide if it's good or very good. I'm thinking more good plus. For the first third, I'm thinking good plus. So 775. I think very good plus for the body. Body's kind of medium. Oh, it's getting dark here. George says, I'm fading, so I'll say good night. Well, good night, my friend. Hope you have a great one. Enjoy the tramadol. I remember those times fondly. It's always kind of weird. It's weird to sit here and it's so quiet now. Now it's quiet. And look at my hair. It's all like, all this wind has been messing my hair like it's not so beautiful. My strength is in my hair. If you recall what that quote was from. So the coffee's nice. All my ice is melted, but it's nice. Looks like so here's one of the nice things about the iPhone, right? Like it's not fairly dark. It's getting darker, but at least on my reference screen, it looks pretty good, right? The string lights seem to be helping get a little bit of that natural, like, yellow tone. Rusty says, feel better, George? Feel better? Like, I'm not a country fan. I would not class myself as a country fan. I've been to one country concert in my life. I went to go see Jason Isbell a couple years ago in the 440 when they were in Baltimore playing at the Lyric Opera House. Because one of my childhood friends, like a guy I grew up with, is actually the keyboardist in the 440, and everybody knows him as Derry. But as we were growing up, we knew him as Ricky, so we call him Ricky. But he was like, "Hey man, coming to town. Oh, gonna come watch you." Got to go backstage. Like, he's a true, like, it was funny because, like, you know someone for a long time and you see him on stage, and I don't know much about Jason Isbell, but they're a real group, right? They're like super successful, and to see Ricky's like, man, he's a rock star. Like, he really is a rock star. You're like, damn, I know a rock star. That's pretty amazing. All right, so maybe I'm puffing a little too hard, but that last puff just kind of entered this realm of kind of like a little bit bitter, a little bit not so nice flavor. Now, I don't recall what this costs. Let's see here. If I look at this article, now, of course, this article is now from 2017, so it's kind of old. But back in 2017, the MSRP for this was $6.30. So I'm going to guess that's probably risen to about $9. Not a terrible price. For what so far I've received in performance, not a terrible price. It's not the robust flavor powerhouses of like Tatuaje or like or Roma Craft. It's not the deep complexity of like a Padron, even like the Padron 1000 series. It's not quite like that. It's definitely a little bit more benign, a little bit less, robust. But so far the weather's holding out. A little bit chilly. It's a little bit chilly. Like, I wish it was a little bit warmer. Like, I was really kind of preparing myself mentally for the heat and the mugginess that we've had for the last couple, all day today and yesterday. Like, we went to, like I said yesterday, Matt bought this thing, a UTV. He bought a used UTV, one of those four-wheel off-roading kind of vehicles that have a dump bed in the back. Kind of like a hardcore four-wheel drive golf cart. I don't know much about them, but he needed one for his house. So he found a guy up in Pennsylvania, just outside of Hershey, that that buys used UTVs from dealerships that are on trade-in, and they're all kinds of they're all kinds of conditions. Some are beat up, some are not so bad, some are really nice. Like one had a fully enclosed cab with like air conditioning, and I was like, wow, that's kind of dope. This is dope. But I guess new ones are like upwards of $24,000. But used Polarises, you can get around 6,000, I guess, which I think is kind of a lot. But I guess that's not too. From what he tells me, that's a good price. A little bit beat up, but not too bad. Andrew's with us. What's going on, Andrew? How are you doing, man? Good to hear you're doing. Oops. Good to hear you're doing well. Yeah, man, I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Thank you. Thank you. What are you smoking today, there, Andrew? What are you smoking? George Brightman was just with us, but he's feeling the tramadol was kicking in, so he kind of bit out early a little bit. So it's not a deer. No, the deers. He actually went to look at. He went to Atlantic in Hunt Valley to look at the deers. Because I was like, you should get a gator, like a 6x6 gator. Because we used to use those in movie production, right? We would have 2x2 gators, 4x4 gators, and then the grips would have like the grips when they really needed to get into it. They would have the 6x6 gators, which I thought were just pretty dope. Like, but evidently a gator, and I don't know whether it was like a 2x2 or 4x4 gator. The gator start at like $25,000 and then go up. I was like, damn, so expensive. Like one of the guys that I know, my Sawyer, right? He's got John Deere tractors, like big old tractors, but old school tractors, like 1950s, old school mechanical tractors, not the new ones. I was like, so no new ones? He's like, no, 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 man. Oh, here we go. Keith Urban's just starting now. I'm interested to see what Keith plays because I'm going to presume that I'm going to be familiar with some of his music, but I don't know it offhand, right? Oh, they sound good. Can you hear this? George says he's now on to a big tabernacle from Foundation. Oh, there we go. I'm not disappointed. Oh, yeah, they sound great. But the John Deere stuff nowadays, right? One of the things I hear about them because they have all that like software. So like you can't just service the modern John Deeres anymore. You have to like take it in or get it like software updates. It's really ridiculous. The whole right to repair thing is really something that this country should take more seriously. Tony says, consider his Festool collection. I don't think price should be an issue for the deer. No doubt, no doubt. But honestly, while I like the John Deeres from using them in movie production, I don't know if they're that evolutionarily awesome over, let's say, the Polaris. Like the Polaris that he ended up picking up, definitely the dump bed's smaller than some of the Gators, but I don't know if the performance is that much better. But I guess maybe the The comparison with let's say Festool will be like a track saw. You got the TS55 track saw from Festool, which is a great tool. But you can also buy for a little bit less the Makita version of the 55, and that is also an equally capable saw. So Cigar's coming along. We're into the second third. Yeah, he just picked up a. There's a website called Festool Recon, which is a reconditioned Festool website where they sell the tools from Festool Direct. They sell them for a pretty decent discount on a lot of stuff. And he just got the what's called the RTSC, the battery-powered rectangular sander, 80 by 133 millimeters. It's a pretty nice sander. I was like, oh, that's a nice one. The difference with those is that they could be new, they could be reconditioned, they could be slightly used, but they should be all at factory specs. And if they're not, they'll take care of it. But you get a little bit of discount, and you only get. But the difference is that you get a 1-year warranty rather than a 3-year warranty. Actually, today they had the Capex 120, which is their big miter saw. They had that for $1,200, which is a lot of money for a miter saw, especially when you get miter saws for like $200, $300, $400. But the precision on that one is really nice. But that was a $500 discount off of the normal price, which is like $1,700. So, or $400 maybe, or $450, $485, $475. Which in the Festool world is actually a really good deal for a new equivalent to new tool. No, we're actually kind of going pretty fast in this thing. Maybe we started earlier than normal. You know, the sound isn't too bad from here. Like, it's pretty clear. Like, you could sit here and enjoy the concert. I might have to come back here. I'm gonna have to look at the schedule at Mayweather. Maybe come back here for other. I wonder who's playing now. I mean, who's going to be playing this season? Let me just turn on my hotspot. Okay, we're back. We should be back now. Just have to run and reconnect. Let's see what Mayweather has coming up. So let's see here. Coming up next, Sunday, June 22nd, Mumford & Sons. July 10th, The Counting Crows. Oh, that's a Thursday. Maybe we'll have to come back and do that. Friday, July 18th, Old Dominion. Rod Stewart's coming July 19th. Ooh. Rod Stewart with Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick's going to open for Rod Stewart. Young Hearts Be Free Tonight. Then on July 25th, Rainbow Kitten Surprise. Lord Huron, July 29th. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard with Sarah Hicks and the National Symphony Orchestra and DJ Crenshaw on August 4th. Davido on Tuesday, August 5th. Luke Bryan, More Country, on August 7th, Thursday. Air Somewhere in the Sky, Sunday, August 10th. The Dark Star Orchestra is coming August 16th. Billy Idol with opening act Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Friday, August 22nd. The Black Keys, August 28th. And then there's a festival, WPOC Saturday in the Country, Saturday, August 30th. That's going to be featuring Kane Brown, Shabuzi, Maddie and Tay, Dylan Marlowe, Graylin James, and Duke Borchelt. Sunday, September 7th, The Crooner and the Cowboy, Leon Bridges with Charlie Crockett. Then there is Haim, which is a female act, Wednesday, September 10th. The Outlaw Music Festival. Oh, we're just talking about this. Outlaw Music Festival, September 14th, with Willie Nelson. You know, Willie Nelson is like 90 plus years old. I can't believe he's still on tour. Bob Dylan, Sheryl Crow, and Madeline Edwards. Then there's a 3-day, Friday, September 26th, the All Things Go Festival. Let's see, who's in that? Noah Kahan, Deutsche, Keisha. Who else is in there? Lola Young, Role Model, Backseat Lovers, Marina, Baker and Torres, Paris Paloma. There's quite a lot. I'm not sure. All Things Go Music Festival. Oh, I guess that's all day. Then, or they break them up. Okay, you can get day tickets or the whole thing. And then finally, the last one I think of the season is Thursday, October 9th. Lainey Wilson. Too bad Billy Idol's not playing on a Thursday. I'd be tempted to come back and do the show out here on a Thursday. Andrew says, starting a Cabaguan and a Roku gin with tonic and lime. Oh, nice. You know, I bought a whole bunch of limes the other day because I was going to make mojitos because I got all these, like, what do you call it? I have all of these, let me get the light out. I have all of these, what do you call it? I've got all of this mint growing in my yard. Like, mint, don't ever plant mint in your yard. It's just out of control. Actually, don't even put it in a planter because once it escapes the planter, it proliferates like a crazy mad dog. Got my little light here, my Festool light. It's pretty darn bright. I don't know if I should really use it because it's probably too bright. Oh my God, that is just so bright. And that is the lowest setting. All right, that's better. Oh, Steven's with us. What's going on, Steven? How are you, man? Good to see you. We haven't seen your brother yet. How are things in Phoenix? 113 in sunny Arizona. Good Lord. But as they say, it's dry heat, right? Dry heat. We're having the Brick House double Connecticut, which I don't know how I'm going to make this last. I think we're going to have to wrap it up, I guess. I'm going to say we're definitely into the second. We're into the third. I think we're still at 8.5 for body. Flavor, I think it's improved a little bit to 8. So we're good. So 16.5. So how's everyone's cigars doing? Pretty good? This has not been bad. Like we've had, so far, I'm taking the bad dog. We've had highs and lows. A couple times it just wasn't, it got boring at one point, had a little bit of bad flavors at another point, but it's kind of recovered quickly from each of those moments. The Brick House Double Connecticut Toro, which is made at the Prensa factory in Esteli. It is one of the unique properties is that J.C. Newman is using a Connecticut shade wrapper with Connecticut broadleaf binder and then Nicaraguan fillers. Actually, I think now at this point it's gotten better. It feels more enjoyable for a smoke. Craig's with us. What's going on, Craig? How are you doing? Good to see you. Steven says dry heat. It's like staring into a hot blow dryer. Your eyeballs. That's good descriptive. I remember many years ago, it was July, maybe July 2000, I think it was, 25 years ago. I was in San Antonio, Texas, and I went there because I wanted to attend the RTDA show. I got passes. Actually, I got passes from Feeney at the Humidor. Her and I were pretty good friends back then, and we used to hang out a lot back in those days. And she got me passes to come to the show. So I went to the show in San Antonio. I remember one day I was I was in the convention, and for some reason I walked outside. And I remember I walked out the doors and turned the corner, and I just got hit by a blast. It was like a blast of heat, like the wind was blowing, and just got hit by this blast of heat. It was, oh my gosh, this is craziness. I went back inside. It was too much. It was it was more uncomfortable that day with the heat than it has been in the times that I've been to Vegas. And I've been to Vegas like in July and August, which were pretty hot, but not as hot as San Antonio that day. Oh, Brian's here. There you are, Brian. How are you, man? Good to see you. Brian says, if George is still on, thank you so much for your donation. That is a killer ashtray, awesome punch cutter, lighters, hats. You were amazing, and the fire department's good. Oh, unfortunately, George had left earlier because he was still recovering from his hip surgery, and I guess the tramadol was taking its toll on him, so he kind of signed off a little bit earlier. But I did convey your thanks to him earlier in the show. So, like I said, if you guys are in the area, I think, what is it, Brian? The smoke with the firefighters is on Sunday morning. Is that correct? Yeah, I think everyone's welcome. So, Brian, if you have the chance, you can drop the details in the description, that in the comments. That'd be great. And George, if you need anything because of your hip surgery, please don't hesitate. Yeah, I'm sure he'll probably watch this replay later, so that will definitely get his way, get to him in his way. Oh, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I'm looking upstairs here, like all of these what do you call it? All of these offices have like mirrored glass, but I can see now into this building up here, right there, right, kind of there. You can see, man, it's really pretty, and those are some fancy like corporate digs. Smoke with the Firefighters is on Sunday morning from 9 to 11:30. Awesome. At the Lutherville Volunteer Firefighters, right? Is that correct? I gotta say the cigar has been changing a little bit. Like the smoke, it feels heavier now, like more heavier, a little more complex. And the wind has kind of died down, like it was blowing more. So right now the smoke is kind of not stagnant, but a little bit more swirly around me rather than blowing away. wonder how this battery is doing. Yeah, not bad, not bad. I've got the light kind of shining down like that, so it's not so harsh. Trying to do some reflective lighting. Yeah, see, that's if I tilt it just slightly, it's too much. Yeah, if I went straight up, oh, too much, too much. Yes, the Lutherville Volunteer Fire Company. Okay, excellent, excellent. In Lutherville, Maryland, by the way. Lutherville, Maryland. Brian says, I'm jumping on late. Where are you tonight? Tonight, we're in Columbia, Maryland, at the plaza outside of the food market here in Columbia. And we are across from Meriwether Post Pavilion, where Keith Urban is playing a concert. So it's all country music tonight. And Keith Urban sounds pretty good, man. I really don't know anything about Keith Urban, but I'm liking it. And I think, and there's even big loungers. I don't know if you can see this very well, this detail. There's a big loungers here. So I think that if you wanted to hear a concert, you come park at the mall, maybe come here, have a meal, come outside, sit down, relax. So far, we've been unmolested with our cigars, so smoke a cigar and listen to live music. It's pretty nice. Rusty says that my knuckle sandwich, second, third, had problems staying lit. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. But on the last third, it's burning much easier. Nice. So are you smoking at home, Rusty, or are you out somewhere having a cigar? And Craig says, just back from the grocery shopping. Oops. No cigar for me, but I have ketchup chips. Ah. And sour cream and onion. The sour cream and onion is cool. But I remember in the 90s when we started going to visit our friends in Toronto, our greatest discovery in Canada, oops, our greatest discovery in Canada was the ketchup chips. Wegmans here in America started making ketchup chips. I don't know how long ago, but once in a while my aunt will buy some and give me a bag. Very grateful. Actually, I asked one of my other aunts. She was down visiting my cousin in San Antonio, her daughter, and I was like, could you stop by the HEB grocery store and buy me some corn chips? So she bought me one bag. I was like, oh, one bag. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Now, I tell you, when I tried these HEB corn chips in Texas, when I was there in April, I was like, man, these are better than Fritos. I think they're better than Fritos. I think they have more corn flavor. But everyone that I've let try them, my other aunt, my mom, they're all like, it tastes the same as Fritos. I let my nieces try it. It tastes the same as Fritos. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? My mom's looking at the packaging. And she's like, well, this is why. She's like, my mom, for some reason, started looking at like the amount of grams on the nutritional information on all of her packaging. So she's like, look, Fritos has 5 grams of salt. HEB has 7. That's why you like it more. And I'm like, come on now. Come on now. It tastes more like corn than other ones. But maybe they're right. I don't know. I think they're all charlatans. Andrew's asking, ketchup chips? So ketchup chips. So imagine you made ketchup in powder form and you sprinkled it on chips, like potato chips. It's amazing. Amazing. You should try it. Wegmans has it. We used to only get them in Canada, so we would have to go to Canada to get them, and we would bring back. We would go to the grocery store and buy like bags and bags and bags and drive them home. And then anytime any one of our friends went up, they would buy more. Now I know that sounds weird, right? Like if you were to say, "Hey man, ketchup chips," like potato chips dipped in ketchup, that sounds disgusting. Like man, these ketchup chips, there's a savoriness to it, there's a tardiness to it, and it's so nice. Highly recommend you try it. Rusty's out on the porch. Oh, nice, nice. I presume the weather's nice there in New Jersey tonight. Tony says, Rusty, if you're outside smoking, did the humidity impact your burn on that second third? Oh, that's a good question. I feel like for a few moments here, for the last couple puffs, we've had a little bit of tightness, but we're also getting a little bit of unevenness in the burn here. Like you can see, it's a little bit uneven. So maybe I'm puffing too hard, too fast. Let me hit it with a little bit of flame. Coffee's nice. All my ice is melted, so now it's kind of like room temperature, but still very nice. Good body, rounded flavor, very, very pleasant. Craig says, I think ketchup chips and all dressed chips are popular Canadian flavors, as are Hawkins cheesies. I don't even know what Hawkins cheesies is. And I don't know what all dressed is as well. What is all dressed? Tell us more. But 19-year-old me was like, ketchup chips were like a revelation. It was like the greatest find we had of our youth. It's like, my God, this is crazy good. Tony says, speaking of snacks, picked up some of those pretzels you like at Stauffer's and found a Hammond's Hand twisted pretzel rod that was fantastic. Yeah, man. Oh, you went to Stauffer's? So Tony and the guys went up to, who went with you, Tony? They were up in Lidditz, Pennsylvania for a cigar dinner. On Monday, I believe it was, right? Yeah, yeah. I'll be getting some of those pretzels next week. Paul B. Hardware is having their customer appreciation day on June 25th, on Wednesday, June 25th, and they're having all these vendors come out. Festool's going to be there. Still, I'm sure Milwaukee, DeWalt, all the reps will be there, and they're going to have a big tent of all this stuff. So if you're interested, go up to Paul B's. Should be pretty cool. Well, I don't know how cool it'll be, but I'm interested to go. But the big thing I'm looking forward to is getting some more pretzels. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, there's a pretzel company in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, which is the Amish country, called Rocky Road Pretzels. And they're kind of this buttery, hard pretzel that I think is the very best pretzel I've ever had. Like hard, dry pretzel. Like it's crunchy and a little bit hard, but it's not too hard. Like if you go to get Snyder's of Hanover, like the big Snyder's, they're really, really crunchy. Those are really, really hard, right? They're really hard. This is not that hard. And the flavor, I think, has better complexity. I really love them. And like, I got them at Paul B. Hardware like last year when we first went. And every time I go, I like buy like 6 or 7 bags. And they're pretty expensive, like $7 a bag. But they're so good. They're so good. So I'm desperate to get some more without the hour-and-a-half drive to get them. So because they're an Amish company, they don't have a website. They don't have a phone number. They don't have an email. On the packaging, all they have is a P.O. box. So finally, after many months of like desiring these pretzels, I finally broke down and penned a letter and put it in the mailbox and sent it to them. And I said, please let me know where I can get these closer to Baltimore. Anyone closer to Baltimore, fine. They've never responded. I can't believe they didn't respond to me. I was like, man, these Amish guys are just totally like. Rusty says, Joe Stoy, I think it was plugged. Oh no, that's too bad. That's too bad. That's too bad. Tony says, my father and Dave, the Stouffer's trip was on the weekend when we went looking for chicken barbecue with my parents. Oh, we were up in, on Friday. Was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday. Friday, I had to go out to Westminster. Mm. Last Saturday, I was in Westminster doing a lecture about coffee at McDaniel College. And on the way back, we were driving back on 140. We see this big sign, chicken barbecue. Oh my gosh. Amish guys cooking barbecue, chicken outside. I was like, oh man, we gotta stop. So we stopped, had a great chicken barbecue. There's an Amish like shed or furniture dealer right on Route 140, somewhere between Sykesville and Westminster, but closer to Westminster. Maybe actually yeah, outside of Westminster, but in that area. And like it was really cheap. It was like $9 for chicken barbecue, like a big breast, a huge breast of barbecue chicken, roasted chicken, barbecue chicken, with like two sides and a drink. It was super great. Like it was really awesome. And they even give you whoopie pie. So it's like a full meal for really a good price. So I asked the lady, "Are you here every week?" They're like, no, no, no. We'll be back again July 12th. So July 12th, if you want chicken barbecue, it's going to be at that Amish furniture dealer or shed dealer on Route 140, just outside of Westminster. Craig says that Hawkins cheesies are like Cheetos, but with lots of real cheese baked in. Wait, ooh. So they're like corn puffy, like with like Cheetos, but more cheese. I like that. I like that. I remember years ago I was in Manila, right? The Filipinos love cheese. And I remember my cousins were at my aunt's house back then, and they had this thing called cheese ice cream, which is basically like this ice cream flavored, this cheese flavored ice cream that had cheese chunks in it. Like basically, if you could imagine like a cheddar cheese ice cream, that's kind of what it was. And I was like, that is just disgusting. Like, who would eat that? That's gross. But they're like, you should try it. So I was like, well, okay, I should try it. So I tried it. So I took a bite. And I was like, it's weird. It's weird. Cheesy ice cream. Like, what's wrong with this place? What's wrong with these people? But the flavor was fascinating. I was like, I'm going to try some more. Man, I sat there and I housed a whole like pint. Now I don't mind cheese ice cream. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Oh, Craig says the chips are no name brand, which also freaks out Americans. You mean the ketchup chips are no name? Or yeah, Americans, we love to have like we love our brands, man. We love our brand. We love capitalism. We want more capitalism. If it's not capitalism, we don't want it. Tony says the Hammonds had a similar texture, not quite the level of sweetness, but the big fluffy pretzel stick was very nice. Oh, maybe I'll have to stop by that Stouffer's of Kessel Hill, which is, strangely enough, the one that's in Lititz is kind of like this grocery store, and I think there's a garden center. But the one in Mechanicsburg and the other one that I've seen in another part of the Harrisburg area, they're all like garden centers, no groceries, such. It's like, Mm. There's one on Route 30, just off of Route 30 on the way out to Columbia from York. And Tony says, very sad, Rusty, very sad. I don't recall what that is, but whoops. Tony says, I've got 12 produce or plant places that are around Lancaster that offer Saturday barbecues. Ooh, it's my summer That's a good project. Every week have a different chicken barbecue. While the chicken barbecue from the Amish family was good, I thought it was just a little bit like the it's weird because like we think Amish like it's like the Amish market, right? You go to the Amish market here in Cockeysville, and like everybody loves the Amish market. But there's part of me that's like I love it, but there's also part of me that's kind of like it's a big sham. Because I look at the deli counter and I look at all the stuff in the deli counter, all the different like stuff they have on display that they're scooping out into pints and quarts. And I look at it and I think this is stuff straight out of Cisco's catalog. And like this place, right? Nice chicken, but the breast was like massive. Like imagine like the 6 pound roaster kind of like or 12 pound roaster kind of breast. Like it was like that. It was massive breast. And you always think of like Amish as like farm grown, right? But this is like there's no way this is they're growing that. I mean maybe they are growing this, but it's like Purdue on steroids, like commercialized high steroided chicken. It was still good. I mean, it was a little bit dry, but I was like, okay, this works. And it's fairly cheap. Like, I mean, honestly, like I can't buy truly pastured farm raised chickens for this cheap that they were selling them whole meal for. I was like, okay, well, that's how you get the cheaper prices. Craig says no name is a grocery store. Ah, okay, gotcha. Tony says Stouffer's has chicken barbecue and other meals throughout the summer. Ooh, those Stouffer's people. I wonder who they are. They're very like interesting. We were Mount Joy and it was just a grocery store. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is because of the humidity that's out here or getting lower on down, but I feel like the draw is more restricted now. Okay, that and now it's kind of opened up again. So there are fleeting moments in this brick house that is like where it's kind of like it takes a dive, but then it seems to like rebound very quickly. So not bad, not too bad. But definitely the wind has died down here because the smoke isn't blowing away as it did earlier tonight. Yeah, these snacks sound good, man. But definitely the burn is a little bit strange, a little bit uneven. Ooh, I kind of want to touch it up a little bit. Brian says he's also outside, but I'm not having any issues with my cigar. Oh, nice. Probably because you have very good hydration of your cigars in your cabinet. What I wish for cigars, right, that I find outdoors works okay. You'd think that being outdoors, like, okay, when I smoke cigars, I would prefer that once I puff, the smoke is immediately lifted away from me so that I never have to experience the smoke again, like in my face and my other olfactory senses. Right? That's what I would prefer that. Which is why, like with the cigar smoking ventilation that I've worked on, like at the old roastery, like I want it to be sucked away immediately. Like I want it to be gone, like, gone. Like once it's puffed out, it's like escape atom. Right? That's what I prefer. But outside, it swirls around, it does its thing. Like that. It just blew away that time. That was nice. But I think I'm puffing too fast. So I'm going to slow down, get a little bit more space. But I gotta say, it is nice to be outside. It's cool. It's cool the temperature, but it's nice to be outside, man. Nice to be outside in the air with the music in the background. That's cool. The cheering. But I gotta say, it must be, if you're a musician of success like these guys are, it must be quite an amazing feeling to be out there playing music and just have immense adulation. Like it's just like people cheering for you. Like look out and there's thousands of people in the audience. Like that must be kind of an awesome, awesome feeling. This is very pretty out here. These outdoor venues are nice. Like I think that this might be very well maybe the most undiscovered secret in the region. Because let's say if you went to Wolf Trap, right? Wolf Trap is pretty remotely isolated. Right? Like there's no place really. I don't think there's a place outside of Wolf Trap you just kind of hang out nearby and hear the music. Where here in Colombia, like we're really across the street. Like it's right there on the other side of these cops. There's the venue. The venue itself is probably 500 yards from here, and the sound is good. It's clear. Like from where I'm sitting, the sound is pretty nice. Andrew says, with you, the smoke going away, but with you with the smoke going away, hence 252 ceiling fans on the porch, which also keep away the. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. That's very nice. And even though I might like a little like fleece vest, because to me it's on the chillier side, it is nice to be outside. I don't know, but you guys that are outside, you guys feel that it's chilly? Because I don't know, but like, for me this past year, since I have been on the drugs and have shed quite a bit of myself this past year, I have never felt so cold in my life. Like I'm like, man, like all winter long, I'm like, man, I'm freezing. Like I don't remember being this cold ever. I'm just like cold. It's so terrible. But interesting, I was with my cousin, my nieces. They wanted to go to the mall a couple weeks ago, so I took them to the mall. And at the mall, they've got these escalators, two sets of escalators. The down escalators are working. The up escalators are not working, but we're down, so we have to go up. So the girls are just like decide to walk up the escalators, and I'm like, huh, walk. Let's just go to the other escalators that are working, or let's take the elevator. But I'm not going to say that, right? Because the uncle has to be like solid. So they start walking up these escalators, and escalators are not like stairs; they got high stairs. So it's like you really gotta step up and like. I climbed these two escalators to the top level. In the old days, I would have been huffing and I would have panted. I would have been panting and I would have been sweating. No panting, no sweating. I was like, damn. I was like, well, what is happening here? Oh my, here you go. Here you go, Tony. There's some speed right there. There's some speed right there. My goodness. That is some speed. But it's funny. It's funny. Like I see a lot of people that I know that I haven't seen in a while. They're always like, "Oh man, you look good. You look different." Like, well, thanks. I appreciate that. Then I saw one of my exes, right, not too long ago, hanging out, and the whole time, and I mean, girls that know me quite intimately, right? She did not say one thing, and I was like, "What the hell?" It's like I'm not quite half the man I used to be, but I'm a good three-quarters of the man I used to be. Everybody that I know will say something, but these, I was like, you can't say anything. I was like, there's always a battle with exes, man. It's always a battle. Always a battle. Andrew says, nice being mid-June and a little chilly. Next week, three-digit temps and high. Oh, man. I guess I'm not looking forward to that. Because, my little workshop is out in the garage. So it's pretty much, like when it was hot earlier, like a couple of days ago, I was like, man, it's pretty hot out here. A little bit uneven burn. I think I'm just puffing on it too fast. So when we get to those next week, it'll be brutal, brutal. I thought about maybe getting a mini split to put in there, but man, it is just too. Electricity is so expensive now. It's like, man, forget it. Just fans will have to do. Rusty says it's about 65 degrees up here in New Jersey tonight. Also, oh man, rainy. That's too bad. I mean, we had a little bit of rain earlier. We had a passing thunderstorm. But luckily right now, just cool and a little bit breezy, but no, very little, very thin clouds, thin clouds. Steven says that Indiana has a 17-point lead. Nice. Are you rooting for Indiana in this series, or in this championship? George says that shock. This cigar is going to last until 10 o'clock. I know. Surprised too. Like earlier on when we were reaching like right around 9 o'clock, I was like, man, I don't know if I was wondering. I was like, is it going to last? Because I feel like we plowed through the first third and into the second third. And I was like, oh, okay, it's going to end early. Tony says, is your time with the delinquents over? I think it is. Will I see you in the shop tomorrow? Oh, but I will Saturday night. Craig says, go Pacers. Right on, right on. I'm afraid that I'm a little bit deficient in the basketball realm. I haven't really followed much sports lately. I hear my friends who are big Orioles fans, they're doing dismally. They fired their manager. My other friend who works for the Nationals, he's like, we might fire the they might fire the general manager or the manager of the Nationals, because evidently the Nationals manager was being interviewed by the reporters the other day, and the reporter asked him, well, is the coaching having trouble? And he was like, the coaches are. I don't. This is a recap. I don't know if this is exactly what he said verbatim, but basically he was telling the reporter that the coaches are great. They're not bad. It's the players that suck. And I was like, man, that is just brutal. I was like, so evidently the Nats and the Orioles are as bad as each other. I think they're 20 wins versus 40 losses, somewhere right around there. That's pretty bad. But evidently they're not as bad as the Colorado Rockies. Evidently, Colorado Rockies are the worst team in baseball this year. But what can you do? George says my shop, my school. Yes, school ended yesterday, so I'll be in Saturday. Nice. I think that this cigar in this last third has gotten a lot heavier than it has throughout the entire smoke. Now we have no breeze. To be honest with you, like Keith Urban, so far in this concert that he's been like almost about an hour, or maybe 40 minutes, I have not heard a song that I'm familiar with yet. But outside here in the plaza, I don't know if you can see this when I show you, but there's a van here. Right, there's a van. There's also 3 Suburbans over there that all have drivers. So quite a few people, or a few people, have come here in limos. I like that. but definitely the cigar is heavier now. It's definitely gained weight over the last third. Like the body is definitely higher. I don't think the body qualitatively is much different. I think it's still very good plus. It's definitely heavier. And I don't know if I like it getting heavier. But I think we can look at some scoring. I think we're still, flavor wise, very good at 8. Burn and draw, I gotta say, has been overall very good. I mean, excellent. So good draw, good burn. Consistency, I can't say that the consistency has been, I think it's been very good. 17. And I think overall, I'm gonna say 8.25 overall. Which is giving us a total score here tonight for this Brick House Double Connecticut Toro. I think 82.75. So pretty good, pretty good. I'm presuming that, like I said, the write up that I saw earlier from Half Wheel was written in 2017 when this cigar first came out. And back then the MSRP was $6.30, I think it was. So I'm presuming that it's gone up to maybe around $9 today. Not a bad smoke for $9. Maybe a little bit, like it wasn't bad, but it's, I don't know if it would be like one that I'm going to seek out in the future. How's your guys' cigars doing? Yeah, I think the draw's been very nice the whole time overall, but definitely heavier at the last third. Andrew says humidity seems to be in play. Torch has had quite a workout. I haven't really had to mine hasn't gone out. I've had to retouch up the burn around the edges a couple times, but I think that's more of the way that I'm drawing on it rather than the cigar like having humidity issues, at least for this particular one. This particular cigar, I've been keeping in the humidor. And then this morning I took it out and it's been sitting outside most of the day. It just kind of like in the environment. So that may have had an effect on it. Coffee's still very nice. Here at the Food Market Columbia Coffee. But I think I'm done with this cigar. But a nice night here in Columbia, Maryland. Coming down to the end. Yeah, kind of burning starting to burn my fingers now. I'm really surprised that we were able to make this last. Like when we were reaching around 9 o'clock, 9:05, 9:10, I thought we would be done this pretty quickly. But it really has held out. Really, really almost done now. Yeah, put that down. Can't really hold on to it any longer. All right, that brings us to our bewitching hour, 10 o'clock here in the East Coast. So, going to be signing off. Thank you very much for hanging out with me on the Thursday Night Hang. Always good to see all of you. Back again next Thursday with another Coffee and Cigars live stream. I don't know where we're going to be next week, but we'll be somewhere. Maybe back to the studio environment. So, hope you guys have a wonderful week out there, and be back again soon. And yeah, I think we're going to try to shoot for the 19th of July to be our gathering. So if you have the time to come down to this area, please keep that in mind. Thank you there, Mom. Good to see you as always. So hope you guys all have a wonderful week out there, and see you next time.